Be ready. 5 seconds. Start. Honorable Speaker and esteemed members of this august House, I rise today to address an issue of paramount importance of our nation's progress, the Telecommunications Act. In the 21st century, communication is the backbone of economic development, governance, education, and national security. The role of telecommunications in shaping the future of India cannot be overstated, and it is with this vision that we must carefully deliberate upon this legislation. India has witnessed a transformative journey in the telecom sector. From the days of trunk calls and waiting lists for telephone connections to becoming the second largest telecommunications market in the world, our nation has traversed an incredible path. The introduction of mobile telephony, the spread of internet services, and the digital revolution have empowered our citizens in unprecedented ways. However, as technology advances and new challenges emerge, it is imperative that our legal framework keeps pace. The Telecommunications Act aims to modernize the regulatory landscape, ensuring that it remains robust, inclusive, and future ready. The primary objectives of this act is to provide a comprehensive legal framework for the telecom sector. It seeks to replace outdated laws that no longer serve the needs of the present time. The existing regulatory structure governed by the Indian Telegraph Act of 1885, the Indian Wireless Telegraphy Act of 1933, and the Telegraph Wires Unlawful Possession Act of 1950 has become archaic. These laws were formulated in an era when the telephone was a luxury and wireless communication was in its infancy. The current act aims to replace this outdated framework with a progressive and modern law that acknowledges the rapid technological changes in the sector. One of the key aspects of this act is the simplification of licensing and regulatory processes. The new law seeks to streamline the licensing regime, reducing bureaucratic hurdles and enabling ease of doing business. This will encourage investment in the telecom sector, fostering competition and innovation. By adopting a technology-neutral approach, the Act ensures that emerging communication technologies such as satellite communication, 5G, and beyond receive the necessary support and regulatory clarity. This is crucial in an era where digital transformation is driving economic growth and social progress. Consumer protection is at the heart of this legislation. The telecom sector is no longer confined to voice calls and messaging services. It encompasses data privacy, cyber security, and the protection of digital rights. With the rapid expansion of the internet and the increasing dependence on digital platforms, it is vital to establish a framework that safeguards consumers from fraud, data breaches, and service disruptions. The Act introduces measures to ensure transparency, fair price, and quality of service, thereby enhancing consumer confidence and trust in the sector. Another significant feature of the Telecommunications Act is the emphasis on spectrum management. The radio spectrum is a scarce national resource, and its efficient utilization is essential for the growth of the telecom industry. The Act proposes a more flexible and dynamic approach to spectrum allocation, including provisions for spectrum sharing, trading, and leasing. This will lead to more efficient use of spectrum resources, ensuring that telecom operators can expand their networks and improve service quality. By promoting fair competition in spectrum allocation, the Act also prevents monopolistic practices and ensures a level playing field for all stakeholders. Security and sovereignty in the telecom sector are paramount. Given the critical role of telecommunications in national security, the Act introduces measures to protect the infrastructure from cyber threats, espionage, and foreign influence. The framework mandates strict security protocols, compliance requirements, and penalties for non-compliance. In an age where cyber warfare and digital threats are real concerns, India must ensure that its telecom networks remain secure, resilient, and independent. This legislation empowers the government to take necessary steps to counter any threats to national security arising from the telecom sector. The Act also addresses the pressing issue of telecom infrastructure development. Despite significant progress, there remain areas in our country, especially in rural and remote regions, where connectivity is inadequate. The Act mandates policies to bridge this digital divide, encouraging investments in infrastructure development and incentivizing telecom operators to expand their networks to underserved regions. By ensuring equitable access to communication services, we take a step toward realizing the goal of digital inclusivity and socio-economic development for all citizens. The role of telecommunications in disaster management and emergency response cannot be ignored. The Act introduces provisions to strengthen emergency communication networks, ensuring that in times of crisis, reliable communication services are available to both citizens and authorities. Whether it is a natural disaster, a health emergency, or a security threat, a robust telecom infrastructure can save lives and mitigate damage. The legislation ensures that telecom operators collaborate with government agencies to provide seamless emergency communication services. The telecom sector has been a significant contributor to India's economic growth, generating employment, fostering innovation, and attracting foreign investment.